That was reckless and irresponsible. I'm telling you right now, that man should be
Geraldo,
ashamed of himself.
Let somebody else talk.
The president of the United States is going to forego his I mean, please, can we put that on the air as if this is a responsible law enforcement official?
He is
elected by his people, by the way.
Greg, please. The floor is yours.
There's a lot of dishonesty going on coming specifically from Geraldo. When you look at the statistics, and you know this as well as Katie, say the Washington Post will say that they're averaging more than one mass shooting per day. What they do is the overwhelming statistics are gang shootings because they know that gang shootings will not get the headlines.
So what they say, suicides.
No, gang. So you're telling me there's not a lot of gang shootings?
More suicide than murder.
There are more gang shootings than mass shootings. And when you look at statistics, you find that there is actually no increase in mass shootings once you look at gang shootings. So you're being disingenuous. You're saying, like, all these things are happening all the time, and we don't care about dead babies. Screw you. We do care about dead
babies.
We do care. That's what you said. That's what you said.
This is a cop who says the president, a cop who says the president should forego his Secret Service protection?
Yes, but
after we've been traumatized with presidents being assassinated?
You know what the point he's making? The point he's making is actually brilliant. The point is brilliant. What he's saying is, if you want to live by your beliefs, then you should be prepared to sincerely live by them.
The President of the United States.
That means when you go to Fox News every morning, Geraldo, you don't have armed security either.
All right, can we bring Danny in here? For Terry McAuliffe, as Katie pointed out, was within minutes of the shooting saying, tying this to gun laws, too early, too soon. What's the political fallout?
Well, I think that a lot of this is all unhelpful because it doesn't get to the root problem, which is that he was obviously a mentally ill person. He was not diagnosed. His family couldn't get him help, and then he snapped. And so that is actually the common denominator in a lot of the mass shootings or in the cold-blooded ones that we see. Terry McAuliffe, like, if somebody could show me a policy that says these specific changes on gun laws would prevent more mentally ill people from getting guns or whatever, if they could actually show me that, I could be persuaded. And I think that is persuadable. What is not helpful is when a governor comes out minutes before even knowing anything about the shooter and makes policy pronouncements. He's not even
caught yet.
That's true. No, yeah, before he was even caught. Because that's where he goes. It's actually, they think that it's easier to deal with the gun problem than it is to deal with the mental health problem. And guess what? Because of that type of fighting, no problems get solved.
And so we have, Geraldo and I will go back and forth over this till the day we die. We know we will. You will be on one side, I'll be on the other. But there's one
as long as you don't shoot me.
Yes. And I won't say screw you anymore. But anyway, a lot of these employers adopt a policy to provide as little information as possible to future employers. That's another problem. The employers knew this guy was trouble, and they didn't tell anybody about it. That's a problem.
We need to wrap it up. Good debate. Always heated, but always good.
So this one got pretty heated between Greg Gutfeld and Geraldo Rivera over guns, and basically whether Greg was saying, trying to make the point that liberal politicians who are against gun rights and are against the Second Amendment shouldn't be walking around with a detail of armed security guards. It's just ridiculous. Specifically, Barack Obama at the time has arguably the most armed security around him, watching him and protecting him around the clock. And he's coming out and saying that everyday average Americans shouldn't be allowed to defend themselves with their Second Amendment rights, with guns. One could say that that is very hypocritical. And I really don't even know where Geraldo was coming from, that this law enforcement officer that pointed that out is irresponsible somehow. I mean, look, if you want to crack down on gun violence, you need to strike at the root of violence. So if the majority of gun violence in a metropolitan area is gang-related, criminal thugs shooting each other in the streets, which is true, that's where most of the gun violence is concentrated, you need to address the root causes of that, not ban law-abiding citizens from owning guns and limiting magazine sizes and stuff like that. Anyway, really interesting flashback clip from the 5 when it just went off the rails about the gun debate. But I'm really glad that the two, Greg and Geraldo, were able to kind of make up in the end and shake hands.